Humanity clings to the belief that a savior will come, that a hero will rise, shrouded in armor, to save you. It won't. Armor can be broken, bodies shattered. When you look back on these last days, you will realize that all you've built was a tomb. A place where hope dies.
Hey y'all, welcome back. The Halo Infinite campaign overview was nuts and amazing. I am super excited for the game, and I want to continue my little everything you need to know about Halo lore before Halo Infinite series. I have already covered the UNSC, and I will cover the Covenant, but today I'm going to cover the Banished and Escharum. Who is he? What are his goals? Halo Infinite is supposed to be a spiritual reboot in the sense that both new and old players can follow along perfectly, but no matter what, there will be things that new players just won't pick up on, which is why I'm making this series. Before we get into it though, the YouTube algorithm is an unforgiving god who knows less mercy than a blood angel with Space Ontario road rage, so please help me gain favor with it by liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Now, let's get into it. Around the year 2549, the Orion arm of the Milky Way galaxy was locked in a devastating conflict known as the Human Covenant War. On one side, the UNSC, on the other, a brutal, religious, and genocidal empire known as the Covenant. I will cover this dead empire in an upcoming video, but simply put, it consisted of multiple species. One such species was the Jurohyne, or the Brutes, which the Covenant used as expendable muscle, in other words, cannon fodder. One such brute, Atriox, grew tired of the Covenant's shenanigans and rebelled. Due to his notoriety amongst other brutes for his ability to survive the impossible, his movement quickly gained traction, though he never fought the Covenant directly. In the aftermath of the war, the Banished would rise to power, absorbing bands and groups of pirates, outcasts, mercenaries, and deserters. In essence, they formed one massive coalition of pirate factions, all competing for favor with their leader, Atriox. Because the Banished is essentially a messed up meritocracy built on the leadership of a central autocrat, things to say the least are harsh and unstable. Infighting is not uncommon. The book Shadows of Reach demonstrated this very well. Now, in a faction as unstable and corrupt as the Banished, Atriox is very aware that his power is not necessarily a guarantee. As such, he has a group of enforcers simply known as Atriox's Chosen. They are a group of some of the Banished's best and most loyal Jurohyne fighters, with the Banished's best equipment at their disposal. The Banished also have a War Chief, who acts as the second in command to Atriox. Following the death of War Chief Decimus, War Chief Escharum rose to power as Atriox's right-hand man. So, who is he? War Chief Escharum is a high-ranking Jurohyne warrior who was born around 2474. Not much is known about his life before the Banished. However, following the collapse of the Covenant and the rise of the Banished as one of the prominent splinter factions, Escharum would serve as a Doscolo to Atriox. Roughly around the month of April in 2558, Atriox and his at-the-time War Chief Decimus would journey beyond the galaxy aboard the CAS-class assault carrier Enduring Conviction. In his absence, Atriox left Escharum in charge of all remaining Banished in the Milky Way galaxy. Escharum would perform his duties well. At some point in time, he would assign a Sangheili Blade Master by the name of Gadogai to the Jurohyne Legion Master, Castor. Gadogai would act as Escharam's personal representative, and if need be, assassin. Soon after, War Chief Decimus was reported to have been killed by Spartan Red Team and an element of UNSC Marines. Following the death of Decimus, Escharum was promoted to War Chief by Atriox. In 2559, Escharum received word from the at-the-time stranded Atriox that he intended to use a slipspace portal connected to the facility on the World of Reach to return to the galaxy. Escharum sent the Keepers of the One Freedom, Legion of the Corpse Moon, and Ravaged Tusks to Reach. After 3 months with little to no progress, Escharum would personally make the journey to Reach despite a hefty UNSC presence to make his displeasure at the lack of progress very, very clear. Soon after, Escharum and the Keepers would make their way to the assumed location of the Reach portal facility. It would not be long before Escharum and others would witness the return of Atriox to the Milky Way. However, due to the hostile nature of the galaxy at the time, and the likelihood that a Guardian would show up soon after the opening of the portal, the Banished wasted no time leaving Reach. In December of 2559, Escharum, with the aid of the mysterious Harbinger, led the Banished to victory over the UNSC on Zeta Halo, a massive artificial construct made by an ancient, extinct empire known as the Forerunners. The battle resulted in portions of the ring being lost to deep space. This conflict also resulted in major losses of life for the forces of the UNSC present on the ring. Around this time, for reasons unknown, Escharum decided to declare his intent to destroy humanity. In the following months, Escharum would solidify his control of the ring while directing the Banished to hunt the surviving UNSC. Around 6 months after the initial battle, Spartan 117, the Master Chief, would resurface on the ring and begin rallying surviving UNSC Marines to once again fight for control of the Halo ring. As a result, Escharum would issue a challenge to the Spartan, declaring the fight between the two would be a true test of legends, and that is where Halo Infinite begins. Escharum is an interesting character that I am excited to see more of in Halo Infinite, and I also hope that 343 fleshes him out further in expanded lore. I'm having a lot of fun making these lore videos. I'm thinking I'm gonna call this series the Crash Course. It was a name suggested by a member of my Discord, Spooky Chief. The goal of this series is to present Halo lore in an easy to digest way. Some of you who do know the lore will have noticed that I either left details out or glossed over others, and that is because I want newcomers to be able to experience the older games and books in a semi-blind way after Halo Infinite. There are, simply put, major lore spoilers that if I explain them here would take away from the experience. I also just want to encourage people to explore on their own. So, with all that said and done, I will see you in the cosmos, friends.